Hi everyone. So there's a lot of people talking about how the UK has fallen, that it's not what it used to be, and they're moving away from the UK for a better life. So why is that? Well, one of the reasons is because in some of these other countries they have a much lower cost of living if your income is remote. So if you've got like an online income that you're benefiting from the Western economy and getting better value for your money in places like Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, etc. So a lot of people have decided, why bother trying to work for a corporation over here where your money is not really going very far anymore. It's just constantly getting eaten up by inflation, and they would just set up an online income. Like maybe they'll just start a YouTube channel and just pack the bags and go. So yeah, is that really a good idea? Some people are saying that people should just stay and fight, fight for this country, make it a better place. But on an individual level, you can't really do a whole lot, I don't think, to help this country. Like I was watching this video a while ago, and you were saying, well, you should maybe start by, if you want to help with the litter problem, then you should start picking up litter. It's like, well, that's not my problem, like it's like just the people are just kind of like really, they have no manners, a lot of them. People are quite that's a problem with this country in general, that people have just become quite just rude and bad mannered. They just throw their rubbish down. Like you've literally got like people on their bikes just kind of carelessly just going around corners, not even checking to see if anyone's around there. Like you kind of feel like you're almost going to get run over by these people. It's just, yeah, I don't know. People just seem to be quite inconsiderate in this country. I don't know if it's like that in some of these other countries as well, but it's like everybody's in such a rush here, like to get somewhere, like, so people have very little regard for like other people. It seems like everyone just seems to be so stressed out all the time, and so I can see why people want to go somewhere where they feel more at ease and more at peace and around positive people, because oftentimes you find better people over there that you can network with. And yeah, you can network with people here too, but people might find it easier in some of these other countries. Like there literally might be someone in the same condo block as them that have the same kind of goals. Over here it might be hard to find that unless you're like in London or somewhere like that where it's like super expensive, where you might find some like really ambitious people. So but yeah, if you go to somewhere like Thailand or one of these other places, like you might go to the Philippines or Malaysia or whatever, that oftentimes you can get buy somewhere that's like way cheaper than what you could get here. And it's like you get somewhere much better quality for the same price. Like you could get probably somewhere with like a pool in it and other facilities for like a few £100 a month, whereas here it's like, what's that gonna get you, and then the food is like usually a lot cheaper as well. Like, and yeah, there's some risks of it. You be careful with street food, but I don't know, I'm just kind of like, I'm not trying to say like the UK is like terrible. It's just, it is a shame that it's gotten to where it is now, where it's just people are struggling to even go out for meals anymore, because look at the prices of them. They're like, it could cost you like, I don't know, 50 quid or whatever just for a decent meal out, and sometimes it costs more depending on where you're going. I mean, yeah, but So it's just like things have just gotten crazy. Like like even if you just like say want to go for a day out at the theme park as a family, it's just it costs you so much money. It's like crazy. Yeah, it's just everything's so extortionate here. And yeah, of course, if you're one of the locals in these other countries, it can be bad as well. Some of them are only on like £200-300 a month, but they don't need that much to live. But that's still quite low for them, probably. I mean, you would ideally want like at least like a few £100 a month over there to get by. But yeah, a lot of people are like, you know what, let's just try and just start a new life over there and start your remote business. Maybe they'll do like online coaching or something, and maybe they'll just have a YouTube channel and vlog it, and have people kind of be able to donate and stuff like that. But some people decided like van life is another option as well. Maybe they just want to stay in this country and just kind of live nomadically and just get a van. Someone was saying in my comments the other day that maybe they'll just start banning you from doing that. I think I saw something actually the other day. Someone put some like article, something about some like national park in the UK that they're banning van lifers from parking up overnight. So we could start to see this happening on a wide scale, of them cracking down on this kind of stuff. I mean, you can do like things like camping, but then it's like it starts getting quite, it would start to get quite primitive in a sense, like that, just having to go back to like almost like caveman style of living or something, because it's like they want you to all nothing, as what I was saying the other day in a video, but we have to try and kind of adapt. I don't want to just kind of be a defeatist, but we have to look at alternatives. We have to look at what can we do to make our money go further, so that we're not just like spending half your income on a house that you don't even stay at most of the time. Because I just think that is just absolutely extortionate, especially for people like living in big cities like London. For them it's like sometimes it's like 50-60% of their income is on rent. It's crazy. So they end up with very little to actually enjoy for themselves. Now if you're up in like north or in somewhere where it's quite like small towns and stuff like that, you can get some like places quite cheap, but oftentimes they're going to need a lot of work doing. So if you had the skills to be able to deal with that, then that might be an option. But not everyone's got those skills, and it's not exactly easy to acquire them, but it is an option. But yeah, it's probably just best to try and find some balance for you that you kind of that you feel like is practical. And yeah, but I don't know, just it's this is like a kind of, maybe it's a last resort for some people, where they feel like going like abroad or going van life, it's like it's not something they necessarily would have like be like, oh yeah, I'd love to do this, and like as soon as they kind of like were thinking about what they want to do for a living and all that. But so for some people, they've kind of been pushed in this direction because of the low kind of like basically the purchasing power is just so low at this point. Like your money is just not going very far, and I don't know, hopefully it'll improve soon, but it seems like anytime it seems to be starting to improve, they then just like pull you back into a recession. It seems to be every like, is it 20 years, maybe even less than that. I mean, there was one in 2008, and then 2020, 2021 felt like a recession. They said it wasn't a recession, but I mean, like for the average person, it seemed like a recession, and the average person was worse off. So when they talk about recessions, I think they're kind of being misleading when they're saying we weren't in a recession then, because the average person, I think, felt worse off during that period than they did in 2008. Because it was mainly probably like people with like assets that were really affected back in 2008, but the average person was being affected a lot during that time, with a lot of people losing their jobs, a lot of people losing their businesses and all that, and we're still seeing the effects of that. And people still to this day will think, oh, it was such a great idea to like shut down the economy and for what exactly? Like, I mean, I'm not going to go into like all the arguments, but basically, yeah, we've been gaslit by the media so much, and yeah. But I think it's all just they want everyone to be broke. Basically, they want to all these corporations, they're going to consolidate wealth, have you completely broke, and then it's like. And then so people are like, well, screw it, I don't want to be in this country then, because this country doesn't really, this system here doesn't care about me. It's all just dog eat dog here, it's all very much, everyone's all just out for themselves, instead of being like wanting to cooperate and actually build together. I mean, if we were to do that, then we'd all benefit. So, but there's like parasites that just want to take everything off you, just to benefit them, without it benefiting society. It's just, there's always people out there trying to scam you, trying to just try and sell you some crap that you don't need, try to convince you that you need it. And yeah, it's just if we actually came together, then we wouldn't need to be doing any of that stuff. Well, you don't need to be doing any of that stuff, I mean, but as in, like, it's just that we'd all be better off if we came together. But it takes some effort, though, that's the thing. People just want to do whatever's easiest, so they'll just try and make shortcuts in life, and they pay the price later on. But yeah, is it a good idea, do you think, to move to one of these countries? I said, even places like South America, even like parts of Eastern Europe where the cost of living's a lot cheaper. But some people also say about like the culture being better, and there's like different reasons people want to go. Just have a totally different experience, like say like with weather and all that. But I've been in like two minds for a while about it. I mean, I would like to try it out, but it's just, it'd be cool to have someone to go with. But it's just, yeah, I'd find it a bit daunting on my own. But yeah, it's just it's yeah, just kind of like a sign of the times, really, that people are just sick of the country that they were born in, that they've been here for like decades, and they're like they just want to move. But thing is, right, it really isn't that bad, I don't think. It's just that it's all about perspective, really, that because if you're born in such kind of such a privileged situation, then you're going to like find that when there's a slight bit of adversity, then it's like you start panicking. You're not ready for it. But one time, like, so I remember like my grandmother would have told me, like, when she was little, and like they would hardly get any like presents, like, and like they would just be like, you get the odd one. Like, it's just, they didn't have like a lot of money to just be like throwing at random things. Like, it wasn't exactly the best financial times. Like, it wasn't like booming as much. I mean, then it kind of like peaked a while ago, and then we're starting to see like a sort of a decline. But I don't know, it seems to kind of go up and down, up and down. yeah, so it seems to be like a deliberate thing. I think the people at the top would just benefit off it. Kind of like a Ponzi scheme. It's like the way that the system's set up. But yeah, it's just there's all these like parasites. Just they could be like basically creating all these things. It's like they create. It's like I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too much into like conspiracy theories here because yeah, it's just like obviously that is kind of theoretical, and I'd rather just stick to kind of facts. But basically, we need to just kind of like figure something out. Like we need to just kind of figure out like what we want to do with our lives, and maybe as a collective, should we come together to like do something better? Because I do feel like things should be better, and it's not even just about the economy. I mean, it's about, I think the most important thing is that we've lost community, at least here anyway. I don't know what it's like in some of these Eastern countries, but maybe they still have that to a degree, but it's like we've lost the community spirit, the supportive, like the kind of, like having these tribes and just that, really just having that, whatever they call it, community cohesion, like the people coming together for a cause. Yeah, you still get that in some ways, but we're talking like in terms of like just in general, like just people are more and more isolated, and I don't know if it's ever going to get better or if it's just going to keep getting worse. But it's just that people's mental health has gotten worse, and yeah, so I think that it's more important than money is having people around you, having someone to talk to. Because when you're just having fun with like your friends and your family, whatever, then you're not even really thinking about money and success that much. You just focus on having a good time. So this whole kind of focus on like hustle culture and all that, I don't know, it's like we've got our focus in the wrong place, I think. I might make another video on hustle culture actually, and why I really do not like it. But yeah, hustle. It's like because people, a lot of these like online hustlers, and they're then send their business abroad where they can make it go further. But yeah, like I think people should just try to find a balance. Really, in my opinion, it's like we don't need to be like these people like friggin' Andrew Tate or whatever, who's trying to promote this kind of hustle culture, that work non-stop kind of mentality, because I don't think that's healthy. Like we should be finding a purpose. We should find something that we love doing, but we shouldn't do that all the time. We should have different things that we enjoy, and some of it might make us money, some of it maybe not. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're making enough to fund your lifestyle. That doesn't matter. It's like, how much do we actually need to be happy? People don't really stop and think about these things, because if your mindset is on making more and more and more, but then you think to yourself, well, is this actually making me more happy? So yeah, I mean, it's just that's something that we need to kind of consider, like, because some people might just be wanting to, like, they're already making like 10 grand a month or whatever, but then they're like, oh well, I'm going to go over to like some other country where it's going to go a lot further. But do you need to do that really in that case? Like, because it gets to a point where you think maybe I'm just happy with what I've got at that point. Like, so it all depends on your situation, really. But yeah, people just need to kind of really think about what it is they want from life. If you want freedom, if you want flexibility, you know, like location freedom, time freedom, and you know, financial freedom, then it might make sense to leave this country, because at this moment, this country, it's become quite difficult to do that unless you're like really at a high level in terms of your career or a business that, you know, has to get quite established. So, but then again, it's like the problem with that then is that if we try to make shortcuts, then arguably we won't appreciate it as much. So there's that kind of like a paradox, you could say, that because, you know, if we try to take shortcuts, they'd like, say, for example, you get the guys who, you know, like juice up on gear, and they're like, you know, they grow muscles way faster than they should be, and they won't appreciate those results as much because it was not natural. They didn't have to really work as hard to get there. Now, some people work really hard still to get them, but it's like anything you've had to work for, you're going to appreciate it a lot more. So people are looking for like the, you know, get rich quick. But the problem is that even if you can get rich quick, then it just feels almost like cheating, and you're just going to not value it as much. And you're more likely to just end up losing it all because because it's like you've not had to work for it, and you're just not going to appreciate it. You're just not going to value it. So I would say just maybe like, you know, just focus on what it is you want out of life and just embrace the journey, you know. But I mean, so I kind of like presented a kind of, you know, an opposing argument to wanting to escape the UK just then, because yeah, it can suck at times, but then maybe sometimes things do need to suck in order for us to really kind of appreciate the good that comes from that. You know, from the struggle, we get the bliss. You know, it's kind of like the duality of nature, really, that nothing ever good comes easy. It's like someone could just win the lottery, and then if it's not, you know, if they didn't actually work for it, then a lot of times they just end up blowing it very quickly. But yeah, it's just people just got to be careful about that. Just focus on having a good time right here, right now, no matter where you are. I would say just focus on abundance mindset and gratitude, and you know, maybe do some meditation. Focus on all the positives that we have here right now, because oftentimes people end up getting to their destination and then they don't even appreciate it, and then it's like, well, where do you go then? So yeah, sometimes we should maybe just take the scenic route. Sometimes it's more fun that way, instead of just rushing to get to your destination. Everyone's just in such a rush. Like I said, nowadays it's like hustle, 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 especially in these big cities, you know. Wouldn't want to be in one of those places, just because they end up just stressing you out. It's like stress, I feel like it's like contagious, where it's like everyone's so stressed and it kind of rubs off on you. So maybe going to one of these places might be good, you know, like I mentioned, Thailand or whatever, for like, well, the weather's going to be better, but also there's less stress there. But whatever you decide to do, just kind of, you need to learn to try and value everything, and it might be worth just kind of putting yourself through a little bit of discomfort now and again, just to kind of put things into perspective, even if it's just having a cold shower or something like that, like just to kind of, you know, I think you're doing like, you know, like an exercise routine is good. That can put you in a state of discomfort, and then you can get benefits from that. So I think people's lives are just too easy now. So people find life is just kind of mediocre and kind of boring. Like, and people just become kind of nihilistic and kind of just, they just don't want to bother actually, like, they just kind of feel like doing anything is futile now, and they just feel like, what is the point? I might as well just give up. I don't really like that attitude. I think we have to understand that discomfort's kind of like, if we can get through that, it's kind of like a rite of passage, where it's like, if we can get through that discomfort, then we deserve to be, you know, to be victorious in life. If we're not willing to put ourselves through the ringer, then it's like the universe will not grant you that victory, if you will, or whatever you want to believe in, whether it's God or whatever. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but like, just think about that, you know. It's like, nothing good ever comes easy. You have to, you have to become mature and just like accept that there is a certain level of discomfort that you need to be okay with. Stop being a little baby. Mommy, Daddy, it hurts. Yeah, just stop being a whining little baby, you know. Just grow up. You know, it's time that, yeah, we embrace some discomfort. I'm not saying you should just be hustling all day. That sucks. But we've got to find balance in life. So with that being said, I'm going live about 7 p.m. UK time. So I hope to see you all there. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you all soon. Peace out. Bye.